test the turbidity of the water, which is like how much stuff is floating in it, or how dense it is, how much light comes through. So on the bottom, there's like these like white and black disc thing, and then we'll put water in it, and we'll see at what point we like can't tell the difference between the parts.
We tested nitrate, phosphate, and oxygen to see if living things can go in the water. It's not a lot of oxygen, so creatures like parasites, living fish cannot breathe in the water because it's not a lot of oxygen inside the water.
I'm testing the nitrate and she's testing the oxygen, but she put one of my nitrate.
Oh! Where are you guys today?
We are at the North Mississippi Regional Park.
Hi, my name is Ricky Morso. I work with Eastside Neighborhood Services with the Luxton Learners.
Okay, so why is it important to teach kids about water quality?
I think it's important to teach kids about water quality because we need to know what's happening with our water, and there are a lot of pollution that is happening around us that we aren't aware of. And so if we start with the younger generation, maybe we will be able to better conserve our water and also not pollute it.
Yes. So how are you? And after that, they're gonna do some cool tests, and we're gonna see what's in the water, whether there's like phosphate or nitrate, all sorts of different things, and we're also gonna look for bugs, I think, as well. So it should be cool.
Okay, what's your name?
Trinity Lily Weaver,
And how old are you?
8 and almost 9.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, okay? So, what are things that pollute the water?
Putting trash, like bottles that are like made out of that stuff, and those rings, and maybe glass bottles.
And then when we got the water, we went back to the site, which is where I'm presently standing in, and we put a phosphate tab in it, and after we shook it up, it turned blue. And it looked like, hold on, this color blue here with a 2 underneath. I'm assuming it's not supposed to be the one with the 4 underneath because that's just wrong. People have to live in this. So, I think the water's healthy. Don't drink it though.
And then wait 5 minutes and we'll see what color the water turns, okay? And then we have a form that will tell us how healthy the water is. So what are you gonna do?
Which one? 6?
Oh, this one.
That's what I said. What about 7 or 6?
No, 7. 7 is 2 turquoise. 6. So it's 6. So that means it's pretty neutral. That's good. Because 7 is neutral. So you don't want it too low and you don't want it too high. So that's good. Let's do the next test. You ready?
I'm Michaela New. I'm with the Mississippi Watershed Management Organization, and I do youth outreach. Are connected to a network of pipes that bring that water directly to our river. Through this site specifically, it comes out at Shingle Creek, which is just south of us. How many of you are familiar with Shingle Creek?
So how are you planning on teaching youth about water?
We worked in a variety of activities to explore our local watershed, the impacts of an urban area to the river, and the impacts to natural areas to the river by exploring the prairie at North Mississippi Regional Park and by looking at the small watershed model and talking about pollution.
The quality of water for the Mississippi River, and the reason that it's important, and this was a list compiled with a bunch of 5th and 6th graders, were for these reasons. So we want to see if there's any pollution in the water, to know if it's safe. We also want to keep the water about the same color, because that is also a marker for pollution. We want to be able to make it safe if it's not already safe, so we want to be able to see like what's wrong with it.
Okay, well, it's number 4, you think? Okay. Do you think maybe it's a little lighter than the 4, or do you think it's exactly a 4?
Not exactly, no. It's a tad bit.
A tad bit lighter, so maybe a 3? Yeah? Okay.
We have come to the conclusion after our experiment that the Mississippi River is polluted. What do you think we can do as a group to make the Mississippi River less polluted? What is something we're doing at Lexington to help lower the pollution? Ilias?
Not litter.
Yeah, we're not littering. What are we using? What is a very specific thing Miss Jean bought to make sure that we're helping the river? Nadia? Yeah, so we don't have as much trash because what did Miss Jean buy to lower our trash? Water bottles. And what do we eat our lunches on? Nadia?
Plates that are thicker plastic.
Yeah, so reusable plastic plates, bowls, forks, and spoons.
Nice. Thank you. Take this one for me. I'll be right there. Follow Miss Morgan.
You know, and a lot of the water that we consume, you know, unless we know what we're taking in. So the pH level is basically deciding the acidity in the water and the alkaline in the water to check, you know, what our city water that, you know, that we get provided with. So more acidic, of course, you know, the more harmful they'll be. The more alkaline, the more better and it'll support. So that's what we're trying to test out in some of the waters that we have today. Unfortunately, it's too beautiful outside, so we're going to be spending a lot of time outside.
Okay. That slide must be so hot.
Yeah, I know. I think that is too hot for a little water.
All right, looking good.
I guess so, yeah.
Is that a mosquito? What bug is that?
What is one way to help the water stay clean? Like, what is one way you learned?
I learned not to put like any trash or any like bottle, plastic, and like something in there that's like that you throw. I learned that you shouldn't do that, or else the earth will not be clean.